Hey, Zips fans, Chad Welker with the Zips Digital Network. Today we're joined with one of our coaches' conversations. Today we're with our volleyball coach, Tom Hanna. And first of all, Coach, how are you doing? And just give me a little update on what's life like in this Corona time.
Sure. I'm good. Thanks for asking. I hope all our Zips fans out there are as well. It's certainly an interesting time for everybody. As you and I were just kind of talking about before we hit the record button, it's very odd being a coach when you don't have a team. You don't have that interaction every day. You're not working on how are we going to get better. And we were really, the limited practice we had in the spring was really, really high level stuff. And was really exciting to come into the gym every day because you wanted to see like, okay, yesterday was pretty good. What are we going to do now? And then that kind of abrupt ending, is tough. And to just, like I said, not have a group to be around and a group to lead is very unusual for a coach.
Coach, you were one of those groups that, I was up in Cleveland when this kind of started to go down, and instantly more and more information was getting pulled out, but you guys were in practice when you found out that, hey, like this is coming down the pipeline. What had to happen, especially being that we're close to spring break, to really, talk to your team about, hey, like this is the new situation that we have to go through. We're going to take all these precautions. What was kind of like the message to them that, hey, we may not be able to talk or even practice within the next couple weeks together?
Yeah, it was unusual because if you go back 2 days before that was when we stopped face-to-face classes. And, I talked to the group and let them kind of hash out, okay, what do you want to do? We're supposed to practice through was the following Wednesday, lift on the Thursday morning, and then go home, go away for break. We're doing a lot of good things on and off the court. How do you want to handle this since you don't have class here, And they decide, hey, let's stay with our practice and lift schedule. Let's keep doing that. We're doing good stuff. Let's go. Fast forward 2 days later, like you said, you're up in Cleveland. MAC tournament all of a sudden is a no-go. And, we walked into practice and I said to the group, I don't know that we're going to get through all this. At some point, somebody may put a stop to it. I'm surprised that we're even starting. And then when it came down, Larry actually walked through the arena floor while we were on it and passed that on to Brett, was covering us in terms of athletic training. And, I wasn't surprised, but at that point, you certainly have no idea that it's going to be in perpetuity. You're hoping, okay, maybe we'll see you after spring break. And, fast forward a couple days later, now it's everybody has to get off of campus, who's on campus. And now kids are scrambling to get out of here. We have some kids from out on the West Coast. Everybody else can hop on a car and pretty much be okay. But now all of a sudden you're trying to move out and all that stuff and give them some rough idea of what we're going to, how we're going to handle this one. Certainly there's no plan for it. So it evolved from being, okay, no on campus classes to no practice to get off of campus pretty quickly.
And then, I guess kind of pushing forward to now, I've seen quite a bit of you guys. You guys meet pretty regularly. You're really focusing on the mental side now of not beating together and not practicing together. Just kind of go through some of those seminars that you've been through with your team and what's the response been. And then what are the ladies doing kind of to get ready to hope to be back come August and ready for the fall season?
Sure. Well, I'll answer your last question first. Our strength coach, has been providing them with workouts, and obviously it sounds like we're doing what we need to do in some cases more than that, which is awesome because, as I said to the group, at some point we're going to be asked to come back and play volleyball, and that's going to be rough. Those first couple of contacts on the ball, the first day or two or whatever may be rough, but our fitness level has to be pretty high because if not, it's going to really impact everything else. So hopefully we're managing, the programs that he's given them and trying to find ways to supplement it, which I know some of them have discussed with me. So we're hopefully staying on top of that. Working backwards, like you said, we're trying to meet, once a week as a group. We really have not tried to put a lot on their plate. Some of them are getting, or were getting, because now exams are over, a lot of stuff from professors. So, hey, you don't have anything else to do. It felt like they were maybe getting a lot more work than they would have if they were in the classroom. So we're trying to strike that balance and make sure we're checking in with them. So we were, between Coach Aaron and myself, we were taking, kind of rotating through, talking to 2-3 players a day, and then having the one weekly wrap-up meeting on Zoom. Like I said, we've had a couple of guest speakers, which has been awesome. So one of the things we had done was John Gordon is a guy I'm a fan, the author of, and we have some, books we've read of his within our program. We have a sign right as you walk in the locker room, and he co-wrote a book called The Coffee Bean with a guy named Damon West. And we were doing, John Gordon has a Power of the Positive Summit in April where he rolls out a couple of videos every day. Different people. Last year, Kerry Walsh was one of them. So Dabo Sweeney, people like that. So we assigned everybody a day, and they got to pick a speaker from that. So in our weekly Zoom, they would, give us kind of the synopsis of that speaker and how it might apply to our group, whether in the current situation or when we return. So we were doing a little of that, and Taylor Karusevich actually had done Damon West, and I was able to get in contact with him. So he was somebody who came on for probably 20, 25 minutes one day and shared his story, which is incredible. And I highly recommend anybody to follow Damon a little bit and learn about his story and what he's done with his life and what he's doing for others. So Damon was a good message, and kind of just being our best self and how we can influence, our immediate surroundings, much like the coffee bean in a pot of hot water. So it was a great message. Just kind of the one thing actually I really liked that he left us with at one point is, hey, this is not fun, but it's not a vacation. We can get better in different, many different ways at this time. So that was a good challenge. And then before that, we had Dustin Watton on, who's a libero on the U.S. men's national team, plays professionally over in Poland, and talked about just controlling our controllables, mindfulness, how to rebound from errors, things that we talk about fairly often in our gym, but I always love getting somebody else's voice besides mine or our staff in front of them. And then you get somebody who's a high-level international player. It certainly resonates with our group. And then we're back on schedule because we couldn't meet the last 2 weeks because of exams and the NCAA rules, but we're back on track. We'll be meeting with our HumanX liaison. The HumanX is an outside company we kind of work with. So we'll be doing that, but we're also hopefully going to have another meeting on Thursday. It's not set, so I don't want to throw out any spoiler content, but literally one of the best players in the world right now will hopefully join us on Thursday, and then we'll do our normal team meeting on Friday, get everybody together, and again pick up on our Power of the Positive Summit presentation. So we've been trying to catch up with each other, give them another voice, and not overwhelm them. The other thing that's nice is they've been doing their own Zoom call as a group as well. So that's what we've kind of been up to.
From the standpoint of new, you were probably within a week of bringing on a new assistant to the program. And I know we haven't really had an opportunity to talk about him. And then probably still maybe looking into the second assistant, obviously a little more difficult right now with everything that's going on at the University of Akron. But just share with us a little bit about Coach Aaron and what he's going to bring to the table and what he's hoping to get out of being a member of your staff.
Sure. So Aaron Hastings did join our staff, and it was again, really crazy, as we're trying to hire him as things are shutting down, and he was able to come on campus to sign a contract. So he is on board. We've been in constant contact. I'm just excited to hopefully get him started, because the biggest thing was we've never, last 2 times we've had to hire, not been able to do that in the spring and get them in the gym with us before preseason. So I was really excited to do that. Obviously that's an opportunity lost, and that's fine. We've done it before. We'll do it again in August, but really excited to get him with the group. He'll be working with our setters, and they had they had obviously some input on that hiring, as did the whole group, and just the group really was comfortable with him. He's somebody who's got some experience, having been at West Virginia, Ohio State, had been down, originally from the Columbus area, worked with Mintonette, which is one of the top clubs in the country. So we've got somebody who's got a good experience at a really high level that I think can help take our program, not, in a lot of different ways, to the next place that we're trying to go. And that's, we want to be a perennial contender in the MAC. We've always said since we took over 5 years ago that it's not a one-hit wonder. Hey, let's make the tournament, let's make a run at it, and then we have to rebuild. We finally turned the corner this year, so we're hoping now, hey, last year we made the tournament. Can we get a better seed, a higher spot, in the regular season placement, and go from there? So he has all the skill sets to make us hopefully take that next step.
Coach, you got some personality on your team. We've had the privilege here at the Zips Digital Network to have Alexis Adlita be one of our co-hosts. Episode 8, we had Tegan Ochaya on, who made a really good show. A lot of support off of that Zips cast. Talk about the personality of your team, because we definitely want to support these ladies once we're able to play volleyball once again in the fall.
Sure, and we'd love to have Zips Nation out to support us as soon as we get back on the court and in Rhodes Arena. But we're not lacking in personality. If Tegan is on episode 8, I got to watch that. That is absolute must-see TV. It's going to probably be up for a Golden Globe, an Emmy, an Oscar, a Comedians Guild Actors Award, something there. And she's an example of, we just have a bunch of great personalities that work well with each other. And as a head coach, I think as a younger head coach back in 06, 07, I would have probably stifled some of that. And, we just kind of let them be them. Using Shelby Fulmer as an example, when Shelby came in a few years ago as a freshman, I thought she had a lot to offer our group. And sometimes I felt like it was being suppressed. And one of the terms I used was let Shelby be Shelby. Same thing with Tegan, let Tegan be Tegan. And it works well for our group. I'm certainly somebody who likes to have fun, and Tegan becomes kind of the target for that sometimes. There's just kind of a running thing that happened by accident one day where I said her name and it startled her. So now I will just randomly yell out Tegan, and she could be 70 feet on the other side of the arena and she will shudder. And I can do it multiple times in the same practice. I've gotten her at multiple spots on campus. I got her in front of the honors dorm one day. I've got her walking down Carroll Street. I've got her waiting to cross the street when I've been at the traffic light and she's 50 feet on a diagonal. I'll just roll down my window. I once actually got her twice. Got her on Carroll. They turned the corner and went down Spicer. I made a left and rolled down the window as I went by and just, yelled Tegan, and she shudders. And I like having fun. It's just a silly little thing that just, is fun for me, and lets Tegan be Tegan. And but yeah, we just let them be them, and the group gets along. We have a pretty good level of cohesion, and just some of that personality and silliness when it comes out, works to our benefit. And I think this year, we played loose a lot, and I think that was one of the reasons, is we have that within our group, and we let that come out a little bit.
Lastly, Coach, you mentioned just a couple of the ladies that you'll have come back in the fall, but you had 2 graduates this past weekend in Elia Karstner and Ashley Richardson. They've meant a lot to you and your program, but just unfortunate circumstances that they weren't able to walk across the stage. But just got to give a shout out to those 2 young ladies.
Sure. I mean, they are 2 of the finest young ladies I have coached. Great people, great teammates, phenomenal students, have meant a lot to us. And to not have that culminating experience certainly is disappointing. As a head coach, I love graduation day. It's what we bring people to the University of Akron for, is to be the springboard to their future. We kind of joke, especially with the parents during the recruiting process, that, part of the idea here is to get them off of the parents' payroll and out into the world on their own. And it's just kind of an awkward ending with no graduation. I haven't seen Rich in a while. I've talked to her. Saw E right as this was all kind of transitioning into a shutdown. She came in to clear out her locker, and just kind of very just odd, awkward, ending. And hopefully they'll be able to come back to campus for graduation. And if not, hopefully we can do something, in Rhodes Arena during a match, next season to celebrate their graduation. But they're two tremendous people. Forget the volleyball part of it.
Appreciate the time as always, Coach, and have a great rest of your week. Zips Nation, we're here all summer long now that we're out of finals week, so we'll be giving you updates across the board with all of our teams here on GoZips.com. You can follow us on our YouTube channel, Zips Athletics. For Chad Welker and the Zips Digital Network, have a great rest of your week. And as always, Go Zips!